Welcome back to the coolest channel on YouTube. Look, smash that like button. Let's get this video right here to like 20,000 likes. We've been killing it lately. Look, man, hey, I appreciate the new subscribers, but 60% of the people that watch this channel aren't even subscribed, man. Y'all been watching for a while. Just go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Put those notifications on so you can join the notification gang, man. I will be giving y'all shout outs in the beginning of the videos like I've done in my last video. But look, man, don't skip a thing in this video because you will get lost in the sauce. And just know, man, go out here, do your own damn research. I'm not in charge of what you believe. I'm not trying to convince you of nothing, but damn, you know what I'm saying? But look, let's get to this video. Just know if you're going through a tough time, you're not going through it by yourself. We're going through this thing called life together. Let's get it. Positive vibes only.
Predict the U.S. will be in trouble in 2025, and Springfield becomes part of a major crisis spreading across the country. It all starts when Lisa watches the news about widespread power outages, empty store shelves, and rising prices. Gas stations run out of fuel, grocery stores impose purchase limits, and ATMs stop dispensing money. At the Quick E-Mart, Apu apologizes as customers argue over the last loaf of bread. Phones and the internet stop working for hours, leaving people frustrated and confused about what's happening. The government issues vague announcements, but they provide no clarity. By summer, Springfield is in total chaos. Power outages last for days, casting the town in darkness and silence. People begin to trade food and supplies in desperate attempts to survive. Marge tries to keep the family calm, organizing candlelit dinners to make the best of a bad situation. As the episode closes, a haunting scene unfolds. A mysterious drone flies over Springfield, and a flashing sign appears that reads, "Prepare for the new normal." This leaves everyone wondering what the future holds in this unsettling scenario.
Be too
But hell no already to this video.
much for me, man. Why is it okay? So we in New York, and motherfucking Iron Giant is in there. Not to mention, Saturn is on top of the building, while Godzilla is attacking the air. He's tasting the bitch, and it's a lighthouse shining into nothing. And not to mention, it's the San Francisco building in the background with a beautiful sunrise, and we got Christopher Columbus and his folks still looking for the rest of America. Not to mention that, I don't know if that's in Seattle, but somewhere up there by the 6 and the O's. And King Kong is trying to fight. It's so much going on in this motherfucker, and we at the fair, and damn, like, I'm just still watching the alien abduct a bitch in Hollywood while a nigga parachuting. While the Titanic and the folks in Alabama is whipping their ass while we back in a volcano.
That describes the world right now.
Chinese astrology. 2025 is the year of the snake in Chinese astrology, just like 1917 was the year of the snake when America entered World War I, or 1929 was the year of the snake when the Great Depression happened due to the crash on Wall Street, or 1941 was the year of the snake when it was the attack on Pearl Harbor, or 1965 was the year of the snake. That's when Bloody Sunday happened, Malcolm X unaliving, and the escalation of the Vietnam War. Or more recently, 2001 was the year of the snake. Guess what happened in 2001? 9/11. And also, 2025 is the year of 9. How? 2 + 2 + 5, 9. 9 means completion in numerology, or the lifting of a veil. What's done in the dark will come to the light. Also, what's been going on in the world currently? Look what happened on Bourbon Street during New Year's. Look at these mysterious wildfires in California. Tornadoes in January where it don't even really be tornadoes at. I say all this to say this. I am no theorist. I just need for things to make sense. And when it's not making sense, it's something else. And this video is not for everybody. I'm just talking to my people. But anyway, peace.
What's your problem? I said, what's your problem?
All right today, sir. Okay, how's it going? Fine, thank you.
Flying above international waters. Anyone want to explain what I'm seeing? This was the same day LA fires started.
To remember it, but life before first contact was extremely difficult. Nearly every human had to waste most of their lives working. And without our technology, you could only produce basic commodities by slowly destroying your own habitat. Now maybe we should have intervened earlier, but our scouting fleet had been watching you since the year you call 1953. And if we'd learned anything about your species, it's that you weren't always so quick to embrace outsiders. But when we finally landed our ships and introduced ourselves 5 years ago today, well, sure, a few of you thought we were funny looking, and some of your governments did their best to keep us out. But your most forward-thinking business leaders saw the opportunities we brought for wealth creation and industrial efficiency. And humankind finally joined the rest of the universe in a new era of prosperity. That's it for today's lesson. Once again, my name is... and I look forward to getting to know all of you better. You may now remove your notes.
We were in the backyard fixing the truck, and then out of nowhere we just see a big light fall down and basically crash in the backyard. Like not so, like a couple seconds after, I saw the big giant creature in front of me.
Now we don't be so quick to forget that happened. And many people caught the thing falling in the night sky out there. But let's keep going though. Like, are y'all tracking? Let me know, man. How y'all feel about that?
There is something else happening in California other than these fires. As you can see, this picture behind me is a big ass Humvee, military Humvee. So in certain parts of California, they got the National Guards, they got FBI and Los Angeles police blocking certain roads, and you cannot go down. This particular road, there is no fire down there. So why are they stopping people from going? This guy in the video can't even get to his home.
As you guys can see, everything is being blocked off. What you guys can really see here is that we have the military, we got cops, we have FBI agents. What do you think is going on here? You tell me.
No.
They won't let us in our house. And man.
Someone tell me what the fuck is going on. Why is certain areas being heavily guarded?
All right, now let's not all like just jump to aliens and shit, you know, because that is an option though. And that's crazy to even say in 2025. That is an option, y'all. A real option. But I would say that, you know, there were people out there setting fires too as well. So, you know, they could have been cordoning off areas that, you know, these people are, or they're setting fires. So we just don't know every little increment of that. But at the same time, it's a lot going on. But look, let's keep going.
So you know how California burning and all that, right? So I started playing my Dead Island 2 game. Peep this shit out. Y'all know that California be burning and all that, right? So there's the California map, LA with it all burning. It's actually called Hell A, right? But closer, look at this. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it says, hold on. It says 01 of 25 on the fucking date, dog. And it's an evacuation map. But look, 01, 25, 25. Get the fuck out of here.
So how many of y'all gonna be waiting on 25? Me. I raise my hand. I'll be waiting. I'm gonna be up. I'm be up.
Now, what I want to say is, right, we all seen this across all social medias now, you feel me? We're well aware about what's going on and shit, you feel me? My condolences to all of the people that, you feel me, is going through some shit over here. But do y'all know what's crazy? While this was happening, a big-ass portal opened up overnight in Alaska, y'all. Right over the Aurora Borealis. Like, right around there. Now, you don't find it quite strange, y'all, that they're trying to get rid of TikTok real bad this month? And with all of this shit going on right now? And then remember, I told y'all, I said, yo, 2024 was some crazy shit, how it started off, you feel me? Now 2025, we're only 2 to 3 weeks in, bro. And half of Cali is gone. And then you got the firmament being shown and portals opening. Look at the pillar of light, bro. Cali, portal, drone, alien, UFOs, whatever. Yo, sci-fi.
What? What?
Hell nah.
What in the world? That was 30 seconds of, like, explosions. What in the heck?
You got a booty on your chin. Look at you. You got a doonga 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 doonga. Big booty chin.
That shit was random. Let's keep going.
Okay, so some of y'all know how I made a video about hearing this boom within like a 5-10 mile like radius. My husband had heard it, and I was at a house like on the town line that heard it, and it went on a couple different town pages. They had all heard it. We hadn't figured out what the hell it was. And then the next day at nighttime, North Carolina was hearing the same booms. I've been hearing about people, some people have made videos talking about the booms all over the United States. Now, someone had put in the comments a theory that, you know, and this is for entertainment purposes, that the drones are like, maybe like we're at war and no one's talking about it and we're just going to work, and these drones are somehow like a protective field or something, which I thought was a very interesting theory. But it wouldn't surprise me if we weren't told about it, because they have been not transparent about anything, this administration whatsoever, or helpful in any way, especially when it comes to natural disasters, especially when it comes to natural disasters in North Carolina. So, anyways, I think these booms are like all connected.
I was kind of thinking about that North Carolina thing too as well. It's been slow everywhere, but kind of when it happens in your area, you feel more attacked, right? That's like a natural feeling, right? Like, damn, we're the only ones that this is happening to. We need help now. But what if, you know, they already know that future map is like real, and a part of North Carolina for sure is like underwater? What if they don't care because they were like, oh, this shit gonna be underwater anyway? I don't know, just something to think about.
All right, y'all, I'm freaking out right now. And I don't have an explanation for this, okay? And I don't freak out easily. Something weird is happening at our house. But like our whole road and our neighborhood. We're not really in a neighborhood, but like something really weird is happening. So we were sitting here, and around 9:45 tonight, I get a call from my neighbor who is panicking, like she's freaking out. She just heard something hit, like shook her house. Something just shook her house. Well, of course, you know, we're trying to go over, so my husband gets his safety device and runs across over there, and he's going around the perimeter. And she's older. She hasn't been outside this whole storm. So there's no tracks, no animals, no ice, no nothing, y'all. Nothing around her house in my mind. Well, the ice fell off of her roof. It's 8 degrees here. Nothing is melting. Nothing is falling. Nothing is sliding. I said, well, it's just the ice. It's got to be the ice. So my husband looks and there's no tracks, no signs of ice falling anywhere around her house. Nothing, she swears. It shook her house so hard it shook her bedroom door. So we come back over and we come back in about 11:10, I guess. I don't remember what time it was. It's not been that long ago. Everybody in my house is asleep except for me. And it happens here. And it didn't happen on the side of the house where ice would slide off. It happened in the center of our house. Something hit the roof, the center of our house. It hit it. I don't know what it was. The same exact as it sounded across from her house, because we heard it happen again while my husband was standing out there. I'm trying not to wake the baby. When my husband was standing out there at her, we heard it again. We heard it. But it wasn't as loud and we didn't see anything. We're all standing there looking at the house. Nothing is happening. So I heard it here and it shook the whole house. There's nothing above my bedroom except for a landing to the stairs. My teenager, I immediately messaged him and I said, was that you? And he said, no, it wasn't me. So I hear him start to get up from his bed in the other room. It wasn't him. It sounded like somebody took a flying leap across the house and hit as hard as they could on the other side, y'all. It was not something sliding. It was not something shifting. It was not something hitting the ground. It was something on the house. It gets weirder. It gets weirder. So this is where it starts to get really weird. Okay, so my son comes downstairs. He's 16. And I say, did you hear that? And he said, yeah, but that's the same sound that I heard earlier when y'all were outside. I said, excuse me, what? He said, I heard that exact same sound earlier when you were outside talking to the neighbor. It happened at both of our houses, y'all. Not on the ground, not shaking like from the floor, shaking from the roof. It shook the roof. It gets weirder. So we're on a road. We're not really in a community. We're on a street. So we have a community page. I'm waking the baby. I posted on the community page and asked if anybody else was having this issue on our street. And people further down the road, a good mile, I don't know exactly their address. They said further down this road is 20 minutes long. Said they had it too. Swear they thought something fell on their house. What is happening, y'all? Like, I'm freaking out. I don't have any explanation for this. Normally I have answers for things like this. I do not have any answers. It is not the ice. I don't know what it is, but I am freaking out and I do not know. I don't know. Has anybody else had this happen? Like, what is going on?
I ain't got no type of advice for her or nothing like that, but she wanted our opinion on like what we think it could be. I kind of think it's something to come and get y'all ass. It's just warming up. It's practicing.
I'm going to preface this by saying I am not a prophet. I am just a person who loves Jesus. I'm a Christian, and I have no idea where this came from. So this morning I was driving my kids to school at about 6 o'clock in the morning. And on the way back, I heard North Carolina. I heard North Hills, NC. Now, I don't know anything about North Carolina at all. So I'm like, what is going on? Why am I hearing this? And then I believe the Holy Spirit showed me that there's an event that's going to happen in North Carolina. A tragic event. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I saw what looks like meteors hitting the earth, but they're not meteors. Like big fireballs? I don't know what they are, but big, giant streams of light coming from the sky hitting the earth. But hitting North Carolina, hitting this area. Specifically like a water tower. And then I saw water everywhere. And then I heard that there will be a shortage of water there. Like they won't have enough water. And it's just gonna cover, the word is desolate, is what I heard, desolate this area. And then the weirdest thing I just saw was that like under the water was trembling, like the ground was moving, like an earthquake, but you could see the water moving. And it caused some sort of sinkhole. This sounds crazy, I know. It's like, I'm also hearing like rooftops won't help. Getting on rooftops won't help. It will be a phenomena in the sky, like these giant balls hitting this area and just taking out the water. And then the water level rises. I heard North Hills, North Carolina. Okay. And like I said, I could see the water filling the streets and then the ground shaking underneath. I hope that I said that right. That is just what I saw. I am not a prophet. I have to give what I get though. Like if God is telling me to say this, I was told to stop what you're doing right now and go make the video. Like I was making breakfast and I was told stop right now and go do this. So I'm being obedient to God. I hope that helps. I don't know. I'm just giving the message.
Sound like some harp type action, right? Like the beam coming from out the sky. Because if it's meteors or something like that, which I don't think it is, because I think it's a firmament up there. Like it said it in these books that everybody love to read. But yeah, beam of light. What y'all think it is? Let me know. I'm just asking for a friend. I was wrong as hell. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna keep going though.
That is.
What is this strange event that is happening in North Carolina?
Ask me how I know I'm in hell right now. There's a driverless damn car, nobody in the car, with a billboard that says, humans are so 2023. Hire an AI. This is a real life billboard in San Francisco, California. We got rampant homelessness, a fentanyl crisis. Nobody can afford housing. But wait, your employee needs rest? Wait, healthcare? Are you? They need to eat lunch? That is so 2023. Humans are so 2023. What are you, an idiot? Hire an AI.
Ironically, that's like one of the things on like the crypto market that's going crazy is like AI coins and stuff because of the technology that's coming out. People will be out of jobs if you don't learn about what the hell is coming.
Look at this, you guys. It looks like the Earth went through another upgrade, y'all. What the heck? Bro, have you guys ever seen this before? This is supposedly a bird. A bird, you guys. Why does it look like a... You know what I'm saying? You know what? Why does it look like that? Oh my goodness. Look at this over here. Here's another picture of it. Oh my God, y'all. This is called the great-eared nightjar. The great-eared nightjar. The great-eared nightjar. And it looks straight out of the movie How to Train Your Dragon. Have y'all seen that? We talked about that. Resembling a mythical creature from folklore, it is only found in Southwest India and Southeast Asia. This bird is only nocturnal, y'all. Think about it. You see that thing at night? What? Are you kidding me? It says at nighttime, it is basically invisible. The bird becomes a skilled predator, using its large carnivorous mouth to snatch flying insects midair with precision. Once called goatsuckers by ancient civilization, they were erroneously thought to drain livestock of milk. Is that La Chupacabra? Remember that? Would this be like the version of La Chupacabra? Look at that, y'all. It's crazy. It looks just like a little baby dragon, y'all. This is crazy. What a time to be alive. Let's get it, y'all. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get this shift. Peace.
All these stars have contracted mysterious, even strange illnesses since becoming famous. First, let's talk about Celine Dion. Yes, she's sick, but more importantly, as you can see here, she's aged a lot. But what's striking is how terrified she looks. The last person I saw in such a dire state was someone involved with occult forces. Justin Bieber, who's at the peak of his career, has also been struck by a mysterious illness, and to this day, no one really knows how. Strangely enough, Justin Bieber also seems to have aged significantly. But wait, here's another coincidence. His voice is reportedly starting to fade too. Now, you're about to witness one of the creepiest transformations yet, the case of Wendy Williams. At first, her career was soaring, but then came the day everything changed. During a live broadcast, she saw something that scared her so much, she fainted. And guess what? The woman who used to speak so confidently on air now struggles to express herself, just like the others I mentioned before. What is this strange illness? Is there a triggering factor, or could someone be behind all of this? I'll reveal more in the next video.
As we filmed,
a powerful earthquake has been detected off the coast of California. The US Geological Survey says it was a 7 magnitude quake, which was recorded at a depth of around 10 kilometers. And this earthquake was detected nearly 100 kilometers southwest of Ferndale. Now, authorities have been issuing a tsunami warning, and they are warning people living along the coast to be aware of the possibility of dangerous waves.
Color sound frequency started emanating from all the black holes in our known galaxies, or universe. It's the first time it's ever happened, and they just simply didn't know what it was about. What they have learned since then is that this frequency, which involves color, light, and sound, is so high that it is literally changing the dimensions all the way up to what they say we have 11 dimensions in our known holograph, which we call a universe. Okay, it's a holograph. It's a self-contained picture of all the dimensions. That this frequency is literally changing the entire holograph, dimensional holograph of our universe. Not only are we going through changes, but so are the Andromedans and all the other races that are involved. Okay? They have heard, and again, this is third, maybe fourth-hand information, they have heard that those on 11th density that have shared their experience with what is happening to lower densities, and then the communication is working its way down, is that this new 12th density has colors that have never been seen before, harmonics that have never been seen before, and also conscious beings that no one has ever seen before. And that these conscious beings have the ability to look straight down through all the dimensions. So, change is happening, okay? So I told you that so I could set this up. This is from Mornay. All of us, regardless of our form and dimensional growth, live in boundless consciousness. It does appear that all things revolve and evolve in cycles. Now, after the blindness of 5,725 years, you on your Terra, Earth, are about to regain yourselves. It will be such an unprecedented change that it'll be difficult for many to grasp your own potential. It is a turning point on your world which none of your planet's forefathers were privileged to experience. Okay, so we're the first. We're the first. I know that there's a lot of books. I know that there's a lot of channels. I know that there will probably be many contactees who share their knowledge. Our future has not been written yet. We're creating it every day, in every way. I know that there's a lot of talk of complete destruction. It doesn't have to happen. And it may not happen. Okay, the question is, what do you want? You know? You create yourself. In creating yourself, you create your community. In creating the community, you create your nation. And in creating the nation, you help create the race. Okay? The question is, what do you want? I had an opportunity to ask recently, what's the one question that I should tell people? Is there a question that I should say to them? Is there something that I should ask them? Is there something that I should tell them, that's simple but clear and direct? And the response from Mornay was simple. So here's his question to you. The question for our humanity is, how do we make love stay? That's the question. How do you make love stay? How do you make it stay inside of you? How do you make yourself continuously remember to love and honor yourself and not care about what somebody else thinks? Because it really doesn't matter, That's the question. How do we make love stay?
Yeah, I get it. So we can keep going into that positive future together, because if all of us were thinking on a negative term and we were all in such chaos and that's all we wanted, this world would definitely reflect that. Just like when you raise a child and, from infancy, and they reflect kind of like what your household represents. It bleeds into the world. So together we're creating this picture. But look, let's keep going though. Yeah, let's keep going.
I was a part of the Gifted and Talented program in the 90s, and I just found my binder. The things I found. For starters, they had us doing worksheets in Morse code. Here's one of them. So they gave us at the top what the Morse code is, and then we had to fill out the rest of the worksheets to like make codes and messages and stuff in Morse code. A lot of our worksheets were about different codes. This one is literally called Codes to Crack. So you can see there, they gave us like 8 letters, and each of the columns is a different code. So for this one, there was 8 letters. They gave us the corresponding letters, and then we had to figure out the rest of the alphabet and fill in the rest of the column. But there's so much more. Like the stuff I found in there, I'm like, what were you training us for? Like, why was I 10 years old speaking Russian? It's cool, but I don't actually remember anything except that's my name. So I do remember that. I'll share more as I go through the whole thing, but it's like there's like hundreds of worksheets in there, so like it's gonna take me a minute.
How many of y'all, let me know in the comments down below, how many of y'all remember that? This is how, you know, your parent doesn't become the parent when you go to school and they do certain things to you, do certain tests on you. Let me know. I know it's a lot of y'all out there, man. Certain reasons why. You ever heard of Stranger Things?
You probably don't remember, but if you went to public school in America in the 1990s, you were 100% tested for psychic ability. If you passed the first test that you didn't know you took, you were given a second test that you didn't know you were taking.
And mind y'all, look, I know this girl right here. Like, I used to date her sister back, like, right out of high school, going to college type vibe. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? And she's a cool girl. And it's just crazy to know that she went through this. You would never see it. I don't know. I didn't see it in her, but I always knew that she was a little bit different. She was cool though, you know.
And if you passed the second test you didn't know you were taking, you got put into the GATE program. The GATE program was the Gifted and Talented Education Program. I was a psychic in the Navy, and the number one question I get when I tell people that is, how did you get that job? Did you just walk in there and ask them for it? And I always have to tell them no, because that is not how it works. I actually got discovered when I was in elementary school at 10 years old through the GATE program. The GATE program was actually run by the CIA, and because they did it in elementary schools, most people assumed that they meant gifted and talented, like you may be gifted at reading or talented at math. That's not what they meant, babe. They meant, do you have a gift? Are you talented at psychic ability? First of all, what they were looking for was people to serve in the military, and they were looking for somebody that was good at a specific psychic ability called psychometry. The ability to read the energy of objects. If anybody's followed my page for long enough, somewhere on there is a video that says, I was a psychic in the Navy, but it doesn't work the way you think it works. I actually can feel the energy of mechanical objects, and I can tell you where they're broken. That is what the GATE program was looking for. Does anybody remember these cards? The cards with the pictures on the back. And one person would hold it up, and you were supposed to be able to visualize or see if you could visualize the picture on the other side of the card. You were not supposed to be guessing. You were trying to see if you could actually feel or tell what was on the other side of the card, either through a physical feeling, a vision in your head, or just something, right? But you were not supposed to be guessing. They would say specifically the word visualize on purpose because they did not want you to guess. They wanted to know if you knew. The other thing that they would give us to play with in that program were these tangrams, right? These are tangrams. They're these shapes that they would give you a picture, and you were supposed to see if you could use the shapes to make a picture. Anybody who's served in the military has also seen tangrams on the ASVAB, because the 2 tests that they gave you to determine whether or not you would go into the GATE program were IQ tests, and the military entrance test is also an IQ test. Those tests are testing your processing speed. The Gifted and Talented Education Program was meant to test whether or not you were capable of psychometry. Now, let me tell you why the tangrams are specifically important. Because if you were really, really, really good at the tangrams, usually it was because you were really gifted at psychometry. I feel it physically inside my chest, which of the pieces are going to go into the final object, and I can see the final object in my head. I can see those specific, and they're all different colors. I would be able to see very clearly. Pieces feel differently to me because I am a psychometrist. So why were they looking for that? Well, I'll tell you. So I was in a squadron called HSC 84. It was the only squadron in the Navy that was dedicated specifically to special operations support, combat, search, and rescue. That is exactly what it sounds like. We only operated in combat. The moment the war was over, we were over, the squadron decommissioned. So why did they need a psychometrist? If any of those helicopters were gonna crash, I could feel it. I put a video up about this before. I'll make another one if you guys want me to. But if at any point, any of those helicopters was going to have a critical malfunction, if it was going to have an operational failure, I could feel inside both of my chest and somewhere right here behind like my nose. I wish I could like point to the place where it is, because it's like an intersection somewhere right in there. Anyway, that almost feels like it's pulling forward, and I visualize the part of the helicopter, the mechanical piece, the function, the whatever that was going to malfunction, and I can say something about it before they ever take off the ground. There were at least 7 that I can remember where I just suddenly felt this feeling like something was going to happen, and I said something to somebody, and I went and fixed it, or I went and checked on it, or whatever it was that we needed to check on. And sometimes it would be really small things. It would be bolts that weren't tight. It would be tiny screws, cam locks that weren't put all the way, that would possibly cause one of the covers of one of the gearboxes to fly off and into the road ahead, or just get lost or anything like that. I did it after I left that squadron as well a few times with my second squadron. It was a passenger plane squadron. We did not go into combat at all, but there were a few times where I just out of nowhere got the feeling, and so I said I'm gonna go out in the hangar and check on the plane, and sure enough, I'd walk out there and there'd be a major hydraulic leak, something wrong with the jack screw in the plane, or just any number of things. But I can feel the energy of objects. Now, how does that come in handy in my daily life? My friends literally always text me to find their lost shit. They'll be on the other side of the country, but your girl's good, I still find them. If you look at the way I keep my stuff, it is usually a giant wreck. But at any given point, I know absolutely where everything is. I can feel it. I can think about the object, and I can see wherever it's sitting in my pile of things that I need to clean up. Do I still try to clean? Yes, but am I good at it? Absolutely not. Objects also all feel very different to me, so trying to organize them is actually really difficult for me. To me, they are different objects and they don't go together. Even if they are the same thing, I can feel the energy between 2 different objects of the same thing. They just completely feel differently to me. Anyway, this is something that I've actually taught people how to do. It's not that difficult to learn. Most people can actually do it already. They just don't realize they're doing it. It does take some patience to get a lot better at it and be able to use it. Honestly, I would say about 80% of the people that I've tried to show, get it really quickly. It's really easy. I literally just pick up things around my house and I say, hey, what's in my hand? And I don't show you, but what I teach you is how to decipher. Most people get it right within the first few tries, or within 5 or 6 minutes. And the only thing that I'm actually teaching you is how to pick out the correct information from the rest of the energetic information that you get. Anyway, I hope you learned something today. And if you didn't, then go drink some water. And even if you did, go drink some water, because it definitely doesn't work if you don't drink enough water.
Hey, look, I can testify, man. Like, she was cool. Me and her sister, we joined the military together. Just to get you out the story. And I used to be at their house a lot. And yeah, her room used to be crazy. You know, if you walk past, it's just destroyed. You know, but it's all good though. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see that she's doing pretty well. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, mom.
As one example, some fiction spy thriller, but it actually happened, and it happened in our own government. Congressional oversight is a constitutional demand. We dedicate our careers to it. I have, at least. And during the course of my service, I've ran countless investigations. In the past few years, I've never seen so much effort from the FBI, the partisan media, and some of my Democrat colleagues to interfere with and undermine very legitimate congressional inquiries. It's because of a triad of disinformation and outright falsehoods. As one example, look at Crossfire Hurricane.
He look at like at any moment he gonna bite this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Bit by bit, piece by piece, it's been deconstructed and shown to be politically motivated investigation, which it was. We all know now.
And with the one eye blink, I gotta keep going. That's too much. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that one.
Guess what then? Chairman Schiff
Hey, y'all, check it out, man. I'm in the city of Boston right now. We got a UAP that just fell out of the fucking sky. I'm in downtown Crossing in front of the State Street building, man. We out here. We got a UAP that fell out of the sky. That's from Canada, y'all. This is Canadian. Canadian origin. Huh? It's the UAP, man. This is it. It just fell out of the sky. This is serious shit right here, man. This ain't no bullshit, man. That's only in Boston. Only in Boston do you get a UAP and a fucking ticket, bro. Look at this, man. This shit just fell from the sky, bro. Y'all stay on point, man. They out here lurking. They watching us.
Alright, I got one thing though. Like, alright, why the windshield ain't broke? The impact from this metal thing hitting the vehicle would probably blew out the front tires, maybe, and then the windshield would be cracked, destroyed. Y'all letting me know how y'all feel about that. Like, I think.
Quanto a isto, nenhuma. E a Polícia Federal, que o senhor mencionou, naquele momento não era dirigido por mim. E se essa prova existisse, a Polícia Federal teria encontrado essa prova. Eu afirmo ao senhor. Sabe por quê? Porque eu respeito a Polícia Federal do Brasil. Diferente do senhor, que agora está achando que existe uma ligação do PT com o PCC e a Polícia Federal nunca encontrou a prova. Se a prova existisse, essa prova teria sido encontrada. E se a prova não foi encontrada até agora, é porque o fato não é verdadeiro. Quanto
55 from the committee's interview with FBI employee Roy Demlow, who you just spoke about, which took place on July 17, 2023. In that line, she says, the question was asked, okay, if someone were to leave here today, were to leave this interview and were to suggest or imply that when you said...
Remember, we seen this a bit ago, like, same shit, right? It's been in our face this whole entire time.
Laptop was real...
What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now are... But they're not doing anything. They are not. They want the major population centers wiped.
Look, I'm not trying to scare you in any shape, form, or fashion, as always, but if there was an earthquake in the New Madrid seismic zone, it would be worse than if the San Andreas fault line had the big one that they've been talking about for years. St. Louis has the right idea preparing for a major earthquake in this area, because this is the New Madrid seismic zone. It is quite literally bigger than the San Andreas fault, and if there was an earthquake in this area, millions of people would be affected. It would be catastrophic for the areas in red, severe damage for the areas in orange, moderate for yellow, and then slight damage. That's half of our country if there's an earthquake in this area. And hear me out, the last earthquakes that occurred in this area happened over 200 years ago in 1811 and 1812, and they were a 7.7 on the Richter scale. The United States Geological Survey estimates that there is a 25 to 40% chance that there will be an earthquake that is a 6 point or bigger in this area in the next 50 years. That's why St. Louis did what they did with preparing with the National Guard. It wouldn't just be St. Louis that is affected. Like I said, this would affect millions of people. Everyone needs to be prepared for earthquakes. especially if you live in this area. And yes, this area is active for earthquakes. There are about 200 per year. Most of them we don't feel, but so far this year, there have been 63 felt earthquakes in the New Madrid.
Like Lord Raiden. Hell no, this better be CGI. Or did she just flex on us and say, motherfucker, what's up? Ain't nothing you gonna do about it. How did y'all take that? She do that to me. And look, I carry stuff like this around. I got something.
What they don't tell you is when you go to donate blood or give your DNA for something, that they use it for other things, not just what you originally went in for. And when you transition, they steal a lot of people's organs. Baby, burn me to a crisp. Every piece of flab inside and out. Cremate me and dump me back into the sea. I don't want to be buried and I don't want to be in no damn urn. Let me go. Leave me alone. I done graduated from this karmic land, okay? Okay. The movie Get Out is real. They've been doing these things for years. They have been studying and watching us for years. Y'all ever heard or read about how they shut people up in rooms for a extended amount of days and put headphones on their ears and make them to watch clips and videos over and over and over again? That's real. Handlers are real. Oh, and how you thought that you had privacy? You don't. All those electronic devices in your home are monitors. Why you think they have so many updates all the time? Allie Carter is telling the truth about everything. A lot of high-profile celebrities are witches and warlock from the underworld. They do not like you. They siphon all of your energy.
Back home in Nashville, Tennessee, where I just moved from, I was going to a church, a Baptist church. At least I thought it was. And the pastor, Leon Carter Jr., he was my first cousin. Then y'all guess what? I done come to find out it wasn't even a real church. It was a coven, C-O-V-E-N. He's a warlock, a witch of sorts. Yes, I'ma tell y'all something. If you go into church, be careful. Research it. Research the pastor and make sure you're not in some demonic organization. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the whole city of Nashville is very toxic. Yes, it is. Because you got witch and warlocks down there in covens. Yes, you do. I'm sure it's all over the world, but for sure, it's in Nashville, Tennessee. Yes, it is. So if you're going to church somewhere, make sure you're praying to the Father and let him know you need to know if it's the place for you to be. Because unfortunately, some of these pastors ain't pastors at all. And they all about that money. Yeah. Because when I used to go there, he used to always be preaching about tithing. He would beat us up about it, making us feel bad because we wouldn't give it enough money. Yeah. And when you go to these churches, I understand that they need support. But they shouldn't be begging for money. So make sure if you go into some church somewhere, make sure it ain't no wicked coven. All right? I'm in a much better place. I'm in a much better space. Protect your energy at all costs. Yes.
Somebody gonna tell her that I think he might have cast a spell on your ass, and you can't stop sinking and shit like that. Would it feel like that? Would it seem like to me, right? Now let me know in the comments down below. But like, come on, let's get back to it, man.
Somebody commented that I look like a pigeon if it was a human. That's kind of cool. I like birds.
They so wrong. They so wrong.
Mel Gibson was on Fox News where he was asked about the fires that happened in California. To me, I'm not gonna lie, it seemed very, very odd. He was answering questions with a lot of sarcasm. He said, "We know." Then he said, "They know." If you know, you need to say it. Because I want to know who they is. But I do have a clue.
This could be tragic with these winds if there any fire starts.
Sure, I think we know who the culprits are. Well, I know they were messing with the water. Is it on purpose? Which, it's an insane thing to think. But it just seemed a little convenient that there was no water, and and that the wind conditions were right, and that there are people ready and willing and able to start fires. And are they commissioned to do so, or are they just acting on their own volition? I don't know. But
hey, do you see? Notice in this video. I'm gonna take it back 10 seconds though. Notice, look at her head. She keeps shaking her head. No, like watch her suddenly. Watch. Take it back 10 seconds. Watch.
Conditions are right, and that there are people ready and willing and able to start fires. And are they commissioned to do so, or are they just acting on their own volition? I don't know. But they seem pretty well equipped, some of these people that they're catching.
And I know there's people in her ear, but yeah, they want to take him off of air.
Okay, so what did you just say again?
Literally.
I said I'm from another dimension, and my real family is some of the earth. So I can know everything about Earth. I don't know nothing about Earth.
Okay, so you came here to learn about Earth. Okay, and what have you learned so far about Earth?
I know what humans say.
You know what humans say?
Yeah.
So you came to learn about humans?
No, about everything.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know about TV.
Oh, it's a whole bunch of stuff you had to learn about, huh?
Tree.
Oh.
Christmas.
Oh.
And I didn't know mirrors. Cause I lived up there right in the sky.
Okay. Was you big or small? Small? You got small.
I was a little 4-year-old.
You was 4 years old when you came here? Oh, okay.
But at the start I was a baby.
Okay. This is new information. I never heard you tell me this before. I thought I was your parent. But you got a different parent that sent you to Earth.
Well, until I know everything about Earth, I'm going to come back to my own universe.
Okay.
Yeah, this is recording. So I just saw the alien and I've recorded it on my TV with a tripod because I recorded on that camera and I can't get it off the disc. So that's the way I had to do it. This is just now, just using a normal camera. Okay.
Can you come out of the grass?
Hell no.
No, it ran away.
Hell no.
I'm trying to zoom in. Holy crap. What do you want?
What the fuck?
That's one of the few where I think it looks real to me, but who knows now. Now I know that's real. Oh, we got an old black bear.
Okay, what were you just saying?
So what if all these drones in New Jersey are not aliens or a government on the planet? What if it's sentient AI that's, you know, knows that it exists and it's using drones because it can, you know, move itself through the system using our Wi-Fi and all that stuff, and they're controlling all this stuff. And the reason why people can't get drones to take off and stuff around it is because it's able to scramble the what is it? It's like
the frequencies
the
or whatever?
frequency that it runs on, so that's why people aren't able to do it.
That makes so much sense.
I don't know, I just random thought.
It honestly makes so much sense.
I mean, AI has been crazy. It's going crazy, you know, ChatGPT trying to save itself. I mean, what if, I mean, I'm not saying it's ChatGPT, but, you know, what if
No, but like it could be any kind of AI.
What if some company like Google or Microsoft or like any company created an AI and it became sentient and found a way off its home server there,
And that's why nobody knows who it is?
It escaped into our internet, which would bring it worldwide. But, you know, there seems to be like, okay, so Terminator, Skynet became self-aware.
Oh my.
And the first thing it did is it reprogrammed all of our nuclear weapons to shoot at each other, basically to unalive all of us.
Ooh.
So it could take over. There's also seems to be a lot of nuclear reactors and stuff like that around New Jersey. So, I mean, it's just a theory.
That's a pretty good theory. That's okay.
To add to that, Wi-Fi, stuff like that, well, Starlink, Elon Musk's Starlink, which gives internet access anywhere because of global satellites, this could actually be using Starlink through a back door to run whatever it's trying to do. It seems like they say that it's like scanning. It could be scanning stuff. Who knows what it's doing? But it's doing something. It's a possibility.
I didn't even think of Starlink either.
Yeah, because the satellites, it gives access to internet anywhere in the world.
It's just weird to me that they're like, oh.
It's because they probably don't really know.
Ooh, what an amazing video, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video right here, man. Look, it's a lot to think about, man. We got a lot of things going on with the skies, but also below our feet, and we can't forget about that. You know, nature is unpredictable thing sometimes, and also the people that are trying to play God with nature. You know, we don't know, man. It could be a recipe for disaster, or could we keep vibrating to this positive energy and reaching different heights and, you know, evolving as a people, man. At some point, I think, man, just me in the future, before, you know, I leave this physical vessel right here, I think that we're going to be having we're going to be at the point where the world is not going to end. We're just going to get better, more technologically advanced. And I think that we're going to be in hovercrafts before in the next 10-15 years, and we're going to be, you know, exploring this world that we live in a little bit differently, man. And I think a lot more information is going to come out about the planet. That's just my thoughts, and because they can't keep it from us any longer, because we are rising, y'all. But I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy, man. Make sure y'all smash that like button, share these videos with your friends and families, and don't believe everything you see in these videos. Make sure you're going out here doing your own damn research. But like I always say, spread love, because there's too much hate in this world. I love you guys. I see you on the next video, and I'm out though. Blah.